you have to pay for every belt that you win, there's a sanctioning fee. So now if a fighter wins an interim belt, he has to pay a sanctioning fee. If a fighter has just the regular belt, he has to pay a sanctioning fee. Then if a fighter is a super champion, then he has to pay a sanctioning fee. This is not good for the sport of boxing.
Y'all see them though.
1. The undisputed king of boxing has just been robbed. Less than 3 months after Terence "Bud" Crawford pulled off the impossible by defeating Canelo Alvarez and becoming the face of boxing, he lost his title, not in the ring, not by getting knocked out, but because he refused to pay a ransom. The World Boxing Council demanded a staggering $300,000 just to let him keep the belt he had already won. Crawford said no, and they stripped him immediately. But the real shock isn't just the money, it's how the boxing world reacted.
I am firmly on Terence Crawford's side on this one. What do they do? Like, someone needs to tell me what they do. Because ultimately, again, the commission do the majority of things in terms of you put a fight in Vegas, it'll be the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they will appoint the judges. I mean, one thing they do, I guess, is that clean boxing program thing with VADA. But I'm pretty sure, and I stand to be corrected, that it's the fighters that pay for that as well. So what do they do, people, that they think that they can just go and take a percentage of a fighter's purse? Nah. And look, the green and gold belt is, obviously it's very prestigious. For me, it's the best belt in boxing. I sometimes kind of battle with that in the Ring magazine belt. But that doesn't mean you can just take the piss. It really doesn't mean you can do whatever you want to do, that you can just make up a percentage, that you can ask for a fighter for a percentage of their purse. No. And all this as well, like, this thing, like, surely before a fight, if you are going to take a percentage, surely that has to be written down, contract, lawyered up. Like, I'm surprised if you, that's why it's even more crazy. It's the wild, wild west. Like, surely if this is the percentage you're going to take from Crawford, it's okay, Crawford, you know, in order to have this undisputed fight, which is very prestigious, this is the percentage we're taking from you. And Crawford signs it off before the fight's even done. In fact, before his purse is even given to him, that percentage is already removed. The fact that you are waiting on Crawford just to pay you, big WBC for me is wild within itself.
While Crawford has been going all out on social media, threatening to expose the entire system, another fighter stepped in with a response that is simple but chilling. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, a fighter known for his aggressive style, was asked about the scandal, and his answer reveals a side of boxing politics fans rarely see.
Terence Crawford had an issue with the WBC this morning. They stripped him at 168 pounds. He was complaining about sanctioning fees and things like that. Just what are your thoughts on that whole issue?
¿Cuál es tu opinión de lo que pasó con Terence Crawford por la mañana, que lo dejaron sin el cinturón de la CMB por no pagar la tarifa del cinturón?
Bueno, es algo que se tiene que cumplir, como el protocolo de antidopaje con VADA, pero bueno, él sabrá por qué no quiso pagar.
To understand why Cruz's response matters, you need to see what Crawford went through. This wasn't a polite disagreement. On December 3rd, the WBC officially removed Crawford as super middleweight champion. Crawford didn't wait for a press release. He went live on Instagram, furious. In a now famous rant, he stared at the camera and sent a direct message to WBC President Mauricio Suleiman. Who do you think I am? You'd better slap yourself.
Him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fees, right? Then he gonna tell me I ain't even apologize? Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self. Ain't paying your ass shit. Fuck you talking about pay you $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the fucking green belt, which don't mean fucking shit, the fucking real belt is the ring belt, which is free.
Crawford explained that the WBC wanted him to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just to hold their belt. He refused, saying, "I ain't paying you nothing." He pointed out that he had offered a fair fee, what other organizations like the IBF and WBO were fine with, but the WBC wanted more. When Crawford stood his ground, they took his crown. His main argument was simple but powerful.
That don't even make sense. I'm the motherfucker that's putting my life on the line, not you. You ain't stepping your motherfucking ass in that ring. You or nobody else. You or nobody else. So why should I have to pay to carry your belt? You should be paying me. If you want to be truthful, you should be paying me. I don't see it irks my nerves how this dude gets on a plane, gets a hotel suite. Him and his buddies, they go out to dinner, 5-star meals, all that, you know, and guess who gotta pay for it? Us fighters. We paying for y'all to come out here, have the time of y'all life, stay in the best hotels of y'all life, and it's all done on our dime. It's done on our dime. Do that sound right to y'all? It's crazy, ain't it? We the one out there getting battered, knocked upside our head, and every time we step foot in the ring, we gotta pay them a sanction fee like they the government. We getting taxed. It's crazy.
Think about it. Fighters put their bodies on the line, endure brutal training, and risk permanent injuries every time they step into the ring. Meanwhile, officials in suits, who never take a punch, use these huge fees to travel first class, stay in luxury hotels, and enjoy fancy meals, all on the fighter's dime. Crawford called the green belt a trophy and noted that the Ring magazine belt, which represents the true lineal champion, costs nothing. It's a symbol of achievement, not a receipt for money. By pointing this out, Crawford...
We made a very clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route, no response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness, and I'm relieved.
So where does Pitbull Cruz come in? Cruz is in the middle of fight week, preparing to defend his title against Lamont Roach Jr. When reporters asked him about Crawford's situation, they expected him to take sides or complain. Instead, Cruz gave a calm, soldier-like answer: "We have to pay." He respected Crawford's opinion, but for him and his team, paying these fees is just part of the business. "We stay clear of that drama," he said. To Cruz, fees are just another obstacle, like fighting a tricky opponent or dealing with a bad referee. You deal with it and move on. This sets up a clear split. Crawford, the...
Mauricio, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Because everybody in the world know you was going for Canelo. You was mad that I beat Canelo. It's okay. It happens, you know? But if you a real fan of the sport, you would have, you know, said congratulations instead of having that little smirk on your face, all mad and pouting. But listen though, you should have took the money and you should have been thankful and grateful that I was rocking your belt around as your champion. As your champion, the WBC champion. The undisputed champion at that. But you want to make it about you. You want to say, oh, well, you stripping me. Like, I've been stripped before. The IBF just stripped me when I was at 147. Doesn't matter. I'm still considered the undisputed champion. I'm still the champion in the division. Because you know why? The only belt that's recognizable as the champion is the ring belt, baby. That's the #1 belt in the division. That trumps all belts.
But Crawford's frustration went beyond money. He accused the WBC of major corruption, claiming Suleiman was upset that he defeated Canelo Alvarez. Here's the double standard. Canelo held the WBC belt for 2 years without facing his mandatory challenger, David Benavidez. The WBC did nothing. But when Crawford wins the belt and refuses an inflated fee, he's stripped immediately. Crawford asks what everyone is thinking. Why the different rules? It shows that sanctioning bodies aren't neutral. They protect their stars and punish anyone who resists.
Since Canelo is no longer a belt holder coming into his next fight, a fight that's still expected to make a lot of money due to Canelo's popularity and ongoing contract with Riyadh season, this means that for the first time in 7 years, not a single sanctioning body will benefit from Canelo's earnings. So the sooner Canelo becomes champion again, the better for them. But for the time being, they'll have to rely on Terence Crawford as their sanctioning fee provider. These sanctioning bodies make a lot of money from Canelo being their champion. Like, why did you think there wasn't any pressure coming from them when Benavidez was Canelo's mandatory? It's because if Canelo lost, then they'll have to rely on Benavidez and his $7 million purses. And if they decide to bully and pressure Canelo, and Canelo says, you know what, screw it, and decides to vacate the belt instead, then it's the same thing. They lose the benefit of a Canelo payday.
Cruz didn't stop at fees. He also spoke about cheating in boxing. When asked about rival champion Subriel Matias, who tested positive for the banned substance Osterine, Cruz got emotional. He criticized the sport for being too lenient, saying drug violations are becoming normal.
Subriel Matias tested positive for Osterine. He's the WBC champion. You guys are fighting for the interim. WBC gave him like a year probation. He's still facing that guy Smith in like a month or so. Just what are your thoughts on that he tested positive and no, they're not taking the belt. Doesn't seem to be really facing any consequences. What's your thoughts on that?
Bueno, ¿qué opinas de la falta de consecuencias ante la situación de Subriel Matías, que dio positivo de Ostarina? La Comisión Mundial de Boxeo le dio un probation de un año, pero más allá de eso, él sigue peleando dentro de un mes, no parece que pasa nada. ¿Qué opinas?
Pues es algo que ya no se vuelve limpio y creo que deben de tomar cartas en el asunto para ya ser más estrictos en esta parte, porque al final del día se está convirtiendo ya algo normal que cualquier boxeador lo esté haciendo. Igual con Jenny Beck ya salió igual con la misma o probablemente con la misma dosis, entonces ya tiene que haber alguna sanción más fuerte y ya no debe de haber ningún tipo de porcentaje de tolerancia.
The contrast is clear. The sport will strip a champion like Crawford over money instantly, yet fighters using banned substances often face slow, bureaucratic responses. Cruz wants strict rules on drugs because they actually harm fighters. The sanctioning bodies, however, seem more focused on protecting their revenue than the athlete.
It's free! How you love that? $180,000 free. How much your belt cost? I wonder, how much your belt cost? Huh? I don't see no receipts on your belt. It's crazy. Y'all be having so much taxes on these belts. You got some nerves. It's crazy that you can sit up there and have all these belts. You know, you got the WBC silver, the WBA intern, the whatever belt y'all got, and you taxing these fighters every time they fight, and you claim that you for these fighters. You're not for these fighters. You probably worse than the promoters. But hey, I wish you the best, you know? I wish you the best, you and your company.
So what happens next? The WBC tried to move quickly, scheduling a fight between Hamza Shiraz and Christian Immoly to fill the vacant spot. But even that plan is stalling. The belt is in limbo. Stripping Crawford didn't damage his legacy, it damaged theirs. Whoever gets the belt next won't have defeated Crawford, they'll just have paid the fee he refused.
We made a very clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route, no response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness, and I'm relieved.
Crawford has shown he doesn't need a sanctioning body to prove his greatness. Cruz, on the other hand, shows the harsh reality of boxing. Sometimes you have to pay the tax to survive. This raises a bigger question. If fans know who the best fighter is and the ring belt is free, why do we let organizations charge millions for a piece of leather? Crawford's stand could spark a change. If more fighters follow him, the whole system might collapse.
The president of the WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, does have a point, because historically it's always been 3%. That's what the fighters play, and that is what it is, and that's what it's always been. Obviously, a fight of this magnitude, which was being billed as Fighters of the Century, $50 million allegedly he got paid for that one. They don't want to take 3% off him. They said let's do 0.6%, which is $300,000. So I understand it, and that's just the way the system is. Don't tell me he's not paid the WBC sanctioning fees before, because he must have. But now what he's saying is, I don't want to pay that because I want to, the Ring magazine are the ones that have got it right. The Ring magazine obviously is one of the most historic belts and considered the number one of the 4-belt era, the Ring magazine, but they don't charge. So that's where he's at, and that's the point he's making. But then how did the WBC then make their money if they don't make commissions off? It's like everyone charges for everything. All the other sanctioning bodies would have charged him as well, whatever that was. So
it would appear to me that if there's 5 sanctioning bodies, which would have been the WBC, WBA, the IBF, the WBO, and the Ring magazine, that's why it's 0.6%. Because if you divide 3% by 5, you get 0.6%. I have very little respect for the WBC and the way they operate. I have very little respect for Mauricio Sulaiman. I think they're a hypocritical, disingenuous organisation. But I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with what he said there. And if it is indeed the deployment of those funds go to the well-being of fighters, we can't have an industry that constantly talks about the need to look after its own, and then when it gets to the top end of the tree, the top end doesn't want to pay it down.
What do you think? Was Crawford right to keep his $300,000 and reject the belt, or should he have paid to keep history intact? That's it for today's video. If you liked it, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss future videos. Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned. We'll see